are Geekcentric, and you can be too. Love ya. Get home safe, guys. Peace.
Welcome to the Geekcentric podcast, and welcome to our special Behind the Geeks episode 4, Heads of State. My name is Justin, and if you're joining us for the first time, well, we are Geekcentric, a podcast covering the world of movies, TV shows, toys, collectibles, gaming, and all things geek-centric. And on today's episode, we are going behind the geeks with director Ilya Naishuller to talk about his latest film, Heads of State, which is hitting Prime Video globally on July 2nd, so tomorrow. This is a globe-trotting, high-octane action comedy starring John Cena, Idris Elba, and Priyanka Chopra Jonas. I was fortunate enough to attend the press junket in New York City, where I had the chance to sit down with Ilya to chat about the wild energy on set and how Heads of State compares to his previous works like Hardcore Henry and Nobody. Plus, we go a little bit deeper to understand some of the best practices that Hardcore Henry taught him that he carries with him in his future films. And of course, because we're geek-centric, we had to ask him if he could play in any other geeky sandbox, what would it be? This is a great conversation. Ilya is just so down to earth and easy to talk to. I am so grateful that I was able to go on behalf of Geekcentric to attend this press junket and have the opportunity to chat with him. A huge thanks to our friends at Prime Video Canada, the Tarot Group, and you listeners who have helped grow this channel and help grow this podcast to a place where we can take part in opportunities like this and bring you coverage for this film. But this interview is not the only coverage we have for Heads of State. As part of my trip to New York for the junket, I was also asked to participate in the red carpet experience. Now, there was a lot of people there, and I didn't get a chance to talk to everyone, but I did talk to John Cena, who is just an absolute outstanding dude. He would leave the press line and come back to finish, and left again and came back. He ensured that he answered everyone's question in that press line. He did not rush anyone, and he was just an outstanding dude, and I am so grateful for his time and the opportunity to just ask him 2 quick questions. Now, I'll be posting those clips on our social later today. So be sure to subscribe to us on Instagram and on TikTok at We Are Geekcentric. You can find our social links in the show notes below in case you're looking for it. Also on the red carpet, I was able to ask Ilya Naishuller another question, a question I didn't get in this interview just based on timing. So I really appreciate Ilya kind of like seeing me and saying, hey, I recognize you. So he came over and I was able to get one quick question in. So yeah, this was a really great experience. And like I was saying before, this is an experience that I'm very grateful that I was able to go on behalf of Geekcentric to represent. And also just for listeners and audience like you guys that are helping grow this channel and grow this group so that we can have more opportunities and we can bring you this type of coverage. So feeling very grateful, feeling very humbled. But look, it is the hot geeky summer. Be sure to make sure you're subscribed to us wherever you listen to podcasts. We got Superman coming up. We got Fantastic Four coming up. We've missed Jurassic World Rebirth just based on timing, but we have been talking about potentially posting a spoiler-filled discussion about that movie. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow us wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you want to watch this interview, as well as a variety of other interviews that we have, well, you can do so by checking out our YouTube channel at youtube.com/geekcentric. The link for this interview is in the show notes. That's it. That's all the plugs. That's all the things I have to say. Let's get to my interview with Ilya Naishuller, the director of Heads of State. Ilya, nice to meet you, man. Thank you so much for joining us on the Geekcentric podcast. How you doing, man?
I'm in New York promoting a movie that I think is fantastic. I'm doing pretty damn well. Thank you.
Yeah, man, I saw it yesterday. It is tons of fun. The energy is just off the charts. It's an absolute blast. I got to ask right off the bat, though, was the energy on set just as wild as fun as what we see on screen?
Yes, and I always heard that if you have fun on the set, it means it's not going to be fun in the movie. And I was like, I don't believe that. Why should we? Like, life's short.
Right.
Working fantastic people who are very, good-natured and want to get the best result. We were having, it's difficult. No movies are easy. It doesn't matter the size or the genre, whatever. But, we had as much of a blast as you can under the somewhat stressful circumstances.
Yeah, I can imagine. And, like you said, it's not an easy feat to make a movie. This Heads of State feels like a big swing in a lot of ways. It's just tonally, it mixes action and comedy. And it has such a great energy to you. What excited you about taking this project on, and what felt different about making this film compared to maybe some of your past work?
Well, my vast filmography of movies, there were, the first one was super weird and experimental. I'm happy that it actually made sense, and and some people really love it, some don't. That's all cool. The second one is a bit more straightforward, but it has a special thing in the form of Bob, and there's some subversions of the genre which I was really excited by. And this one, when I first heard the pitch before the script stage, it was a more straight up action thriller, and I wasn't too excited, but I love the idea of John and Idris doing what they did. I love the Suicide Squad. First of all, we're standing on the shoulder of James Gunn. So thank you, Mr.
Exactly.
Gunn.
Yeah.
But I remember thinking about. I said, "Give me a day," and I was thinking. I was like, you know what? It's not an action thriller. It's a really good action comedy. It's a road movie. It's a buddy movie.
Yes.
And I think if you make John Cena's character an ex-movie star who became a president, that's a great comic perspective, and I think I get it. And it clicked, and I came back to Peter Safran and John Ricard, the producers, and I was like, guys, what do you think of this? And they were like, go. So as soon as we got that, the writers were like, yes, we get it. We sat down, and it just became, and Amazon also was just like, yeah, there was no, it all made sense. I said, look, it's Midnight Run, it's planes, trains, and automobiles by way of Mission Impossible. And once that clicked, I was like, I get how they can sell it. I get what I'm super excited by. I want the genuine, non-synthetic warmth of those 80s, 90s movies. I think we're kind of missing that. A lot of it feels not fake, because all movies are fake, but then it feels a little synthetic. And I was like, can we try to do this, as practically as possible? And thank you, Top Gun, because that came out that summer when we started pitching this. And I was like, look, people react to real things that are shot practically. Let's do as much of that as we can safely and the budget allows. So we got to travel to four countries and make a hell of a fun movie. So, it all made sense pretty quickly.
Yeah, I love that you found a way into it that made sense for you and what you could bring. You talked about Hardcore Henry briefly there. Looking back at that, that was such a bold debut, if you will. What lessons or instincts from that filmmaking experience do you carry on in terms of your approach to action or storytelling?
I think the biggest thing I learned from that film was that whatever your 100% amazing directorial vision is, you will not be able to do that because there's reality. There's time, there's money, there's just schedules, so many things that will go wrong. And I think I became a director, really, when it clicked for me that you can have fun figuring out how to get from that 100% over here to a different 100%, because there's not one right way to make a movie. There's several. It's not like there's a lot of ways to mess it up, but there are quite a few elements that you can switch around. I think the fact that I come in with a mind that is not just adaptable, but I enjoy the process of figuring that stuff out, and that is the real job of the director. And when it clicked for me, I was like, now I'm it. Now I get it.
Yes.
So I was like 36 at that point. I was like, all right, not too late for that. So kind of proud. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Well, as I get towards the end here and I wrap up, we are called Geekcentric. We love all things from Star Wars, Marvel, DC. I don't know if you've been asked this question, but I'm going to ask you anyways.
Let's go.
If you could step into any of those worlds or in the sandbox and play in that world, is there one that you'd want to play in?
Look, I think all of them have, great movies. All of them have great potential to be even greater as time goes by and they learn and we understand more as the world changes and the audiences change. I think it's unfair. It's hard to pick one,
right?
Because I can imagine making a great Star Wars movie. I can imagine making a great Marvel movie. I can imagine making a great DC movie. The question is the right project with the right goals, with the right energy, and yeah, it's very tough to
pinpoint on one, right?
I'll just say this. I got into movie business because, I hate saying the movie business. I got into loving movies because I watched Goldfingers. That was my one that was like, boom. So I said one day, especially after they had Mark Foster direct, he was a Swiss director. 'Cause before, Bonds were always going to be Brits.
Right.
So Mark broke that. Carrie continued breaking that. I was like, you know what? Let's see. 20 years from now, 10 years, 15 years from now. So that would be the thing I would like. I do that. I can probably feel good if I have to retire.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Ilya, thank you so much for joining us on the Geekcentric podcast. It's
Thank you.
an absolute honor, man. I am such a fan of your work, and
you so
this
much.
movie is tons of fun, and I can't wait
Thank you.
for people to see Heads of State.
Thank you.
Awesome. Man.
Appreciate it.